Hey, Dr. Luke here. Today I'm going to be talking about the ego. Big head, right? Really big head. So, what I'm talking about is, when we start a business, we are really good at our craft. I mean, think about it. If we start a consulting business, for instance, we are generally the initial coach or consultant. We're very good at what we do, and that's why we feel like we can start a business in this arena. Now, I say that because then when you hire new people and you feel like they aren't as good as you, for instance, or the client's only going to want you, you are actually just creating a job for yourself and not an actual business. And what I mean is, if you are going to start this organization and everything is going to be focused on you and all the clients are going to only want you and that's what you developed, there's actually nothing wrong with that. That'll make a perfectly fine career. But what you've done is you have created a job for yourself, right? And you might have that for the next 20, 30 years. Great, you're your own boss, but you created a job. Now, creating a business is one where you bring other people in, and as you are working with your clients, you can either A, swap yourself out for somebody else, or as the requirements become more, you bring other people into the contract, or pretty soon you're probably not even on any of the contracts, you're running the business, right? So you use your skills then to coach and mentor the next generation or your employees, which is ultimately where most of us want to be. Like, for instance, I am a consultant and a trainer, and I will admit I'm pretty good at training. I mean, you could ask any of our clients. Training is just, it was a gift from God, right? I mean, teaching is just my thing. It's what I do. But the problem with that is, if my clients start to ask, like, Luke, we only want you when we're training, or you're going to be training us, we want this, Lean Six Sigma black belt course, but we only want you. That's a huge problem. That is not what you want to have happen, because how am I supposed to be growing the business while I'm working in the business, right? How can I work on the business if I'm working in the business? So you have to be really careful. You got to kind of ditch your ego, put it away, right? Relinquish some control if you want this stuff to happen. Realize from the beginning that your goal is you want to hire people, and even if they aren't whatever you consider smarter than you or whatever, bigger, faster, stronger, and smarter, if they're not in the beginning, your success is actually dependent on them becoming bigger, faster, smarter, and stronger than you. That's the whole idea. My success is when my successors are better than me. That's what I want. So ditch the ego thing here and don't be the smartest one in the room. Hire people to be the smartest ones in the room. I'd rather be the dumbest in the room, honestly. If I'm making hand over fist and these guys and gals are just awesome at their jobs, rock on, man. When they're better at consulting, when they're better at coaching, when they're better at training, that's a win. That's what I want. I want to be using my skills, not for the client necessarily, but to groom our people. So you really have to put your ego in check if you're going to run a business. If you're going to create a job, by all means, keep your big ego, live with it, no problem. You make, be that $1 million consultant like Alan Weiss, who, by the way, has a huge team behind him anyway, but you can create a brand that is you, or you can create a brand that is everybody. And I can tell you, when you're doing your succession planning later on, like, how am I going to sell this business, or am I going to give it to the next generation, or how's this going to work? If you create a job for yourself, good luck selling your business later on. If you created a brand, somebody might want to snatch you up in a competition. You're like, hey, in 10, 20 years, I'm pretty spent, whatever. Well, I'll give you $50 million for your company. Roger that. See you later. So the whole thing is, put your ego in check from day one and realize that your victory is their victory. Empowering them and making your organization strong, and maybe ending up the dumbest person in the room, that's your goal. So ditch the excuses and let's get to work.